1:30 p.m. when a small boat carrying passengers reportedly returning from a funeral at Okuma to Bovime, both in the KRACHI West District of the Oti region, tragically capsized. Preliminary reports indicate that the boat was grossly overloaded beyond its safe operational capacity. The disaster has tragically claimed 15 lives in total. Tragically, 11 of the deceased were children between the ages of 2 and 14 years. The remaining 4 victims were adults, 3 women, and 1 man aged between 18 to 64 years. 4 other adults who were on board survived the accident. The bodies of the 12 of the deceased have been deposited at the KRACHI and Rara government hospitals, whilst the remaining 3 children have since been laid to rest. The Ghana Maritime Authority views these incidents as a critical and unacceptable breach of safety standards and is committed to full transparency and decisive corrective actions. And so what they are doing now is, one, they have deployed an investigative team.
Okay.
So the GMA has deployed a specialized investigative team comprising maritime safety inspectors and personnel from the Navy Task Force in Dambai to the scene. The team's mandate is to establish the precise cause of the accident, identify any violations of safety regulations, and ensure that all responsible parties are held fully accountable under the law. The second thing they are doing is to constitute a high-level casualty investigations committee. In collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, the Ghana Maritime Authority will immediately constitute a high-level casualty investigative team to undertake a comprehensive investigation. The committee's findings will inform urgent enforcement measures to prevent a recurrence of such tragedies on our inland waterways. And the third thing they are doing is to enhance enforcement action. So the Ghana Maritime Authority is launching an extensive and sustained lakeside safety enforcement operation to ensure that all boats, especially those operating at night, strictly comply with passenger limits, mandatory life jacket use, and operational permit requirements. Boats found in flagrant breach of safety laws will be seized and its operators prosecuted. Now it continues by saying the Ghana Maritime Authority extends their deepest condolences and all that, blah, blah. So that's the statement, basically.
We'll see if we can get the man who is in charge of the Ghana Maritime Authority to speak to conclude the show shortly. Very interesting developments on the Volta Lake. I think this one too many accidents have happened on that particular lake. There's a need to urgently find a solution to it. This one involves casualties that include more children than adults who were in the boats that capsized. We're making efforts to speak to Mr. MUBARICK MASAWUDU, who is Deputy Director General, Ghana Maritime Authority, on this. The exact specific steps they've taken. Specialized investigation team has been set up. There's a high-level casualty investigation committee that has also been set up. They are also looking at enhancing enforcement actions, the safety of enforcement actions, especially for those who do the boat ride by night. Well, we're joined by Mr. MASAWUDU. Thank you very much for your time. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my brother, and to your listeners.
And we're just going through that statement. Aside what you included in this statement, have you learned anything new about the accident since?
Yes, let me begin with by expressing my heartfelt condolence to the bereaved family, to the people of KETE KRACHI. and to all of us Ghanaians. Yes, the latest that we got from the incident this morning is that the casualty number actually stands at 16 as of this morning and not 15.
16.
Unfortunately, yes, 16. Yeah, it's unfortunate and tragic.
Well, the new addition, a child or an adult?
We don't have unconfirmed report on that yet, but that is the latest we have.
Okay. Very interesting. So far, do we know how many people were on the boat specifically now?
Yes. So now we understand that there were 28 people on the boat.
28?
Yes.
On one boat?
That's correct.
Was that the capacity of the boat?
No. So the initial report we are getting is that the boat was grossly overloaded. So it presupposes that the boat shouldn't have taken that number of people.
I see. And it looks like there were a lot more children on board than adults.
Yes, it baffles us. We're trying to understand. The report is that they were returning from a funeral. So we're trying to understand how come kids are attending funerals and so on and so forth, and why is it a gross disproportionate number of kids as opposed to adults on the boat. So these are all the things that we're seeking to find answers to from the committee that we are setting up to look into the matter.
I see. Has the committee started their work?
Yes, there's been some engagement. So we are drawing from the Marine Police, the Navy, Ghana Maritime officials, and NADMO. Already there's a NADMO official there already. Ghana Maritime staff members are already there in the community. The Navy detachment that is in Pando Tokwa has also moved there. We are here to get the Marine Police to get there. And so we don't have the full complement of the investigation panel yet, but we hope to get that hopefully by close of day or tomorrow.
And that's only one part of the investigations you're doing, because it looks like you have a specialist investigation team that's looking into the facts of what happened, and then you also have a high-level casualty investigation committee. Explain to us the difference in their mandate.
Well, okay, so the first team, which is the initial team that would move to the place, has already done some work, which, helped us to get the initial information that is coming out of this. But the mandate of this high-level investigation panel goes beyond just, the statistics coming out of the unfortunate incidents to, trying to make actionable recommendations as to how we can stop this from reoccurring again in the community and everywhere else where people are using water as a means of transport.
And then when you say you are enhancing enforcement actions, exactly what would you do?
Well, at this moment, we are a bit handicapped. So as we speak, there is no clear legal framework for these kinds of enforcement. The only thing we have now is we are drawing from the Ghana Shipping Act, which has a provision that they took from an international maritime treaty called SOLA, Safety of Life at Sea. So that is what that policy means, which is to say that, overloading provisions, it makes overloading provisions. So at this stage, we don't have the full complement of the legal framework that we need to really, really enforce some of these safety measures. And that is not to say that operators of boats can act with recklessness, subject people's precious lives to these kinds of unfortunate incidents. So on the part to add to that, on the part of the Ghana Maritime Authority, we are even deploying additional staff to these areas. If you were following the news, sometime last month, we sent a search and rescue vessel called Matekole in the area, stationed at Pandu Tokbo to be closer to our people living around the inland waterway area, so that in unfortunate incidents of these occurrence, we can have a swift response from the Ghana Maritime Authority. Aside that, we are also putting together a program where we would be deploying, we call them water safety guards. So we'll be drawing from the local communities, give them training to also help in enforcing some of these safety measures as we wait for a full act of parliament to be passed to give us the provisions and the regulations that we require to be fully able to regulate our inland waterways.
You are relatively new in office because you're not even a year yet. But I'm wondering what the learning is, because it's not the first time there has been this kind of disaster on the Volta Lake. Have you met any blueprints, anything about investigations in the past? Has anything changed over time with all the other disasters, or you are now seeking to make some changes that will ensure that this does not happen as constantly as it does?
Well, there have been some activities in the past. I mean, for instance, the Ghana Maritime Authority in the past has engaged in removal of tree stumps to improve the safety of navigation in and on our inland waterways. Sometimes boats would, as they cruise, they would go and hit a tree stump, and it caused a capsizing to happen and an unfortunate loss of life. So the authority has been doing that for some time now. But since we assumed office, what we quickly realized is that it's an area that really not much has been done. So all these things that I'm telling you, all of them happened since we took over. So, i.e., the deployment of the search and rescue vessel, we've even moved hither to the coordinating office for our inland waterways was sitting at the Ghana Maritime Authority head office in Accra. As we speak, plans are far advanced to relocate that office to Akosombo to, of course, be able to serve or execute our mandate better. We deployed additional Ghana Maritime Authority staff in these areas. We did an exercise recently to identify a number of the notable crossing points in these areas and unofficial landing sites in these areas where we intend to deploy our water safety guards. So I think that there have been a lot that has happened since we assumed office. And in the grand scheme of things, if you were following the President, His Excellency, not too long ago was talking about his grand vision of transforming transportation on our Volta Lake. I know also that in some engagement recently had with our ministry and the finance ministry about an intention to dedicate some exim facility coming from Korea very soon to procure more modern means of transport for our Volta Lake folks. So there's a lot that is really happening within the short time that we assumed office.
Would you be making these reports public, and the actions you'll be taking based on these reports also public?
Yes, definitely. If you see, we've been very proactive. In the past, you pick some of these news on social media about some of these incidences that have happened. But given our increased presence in these areas, you realize that we reported the incidents first. And we definitely want to keep the public informed. The goal is that we want to educate. We want people to know. And many a times also, it doesn't help with the attitude of our brothers living along these areas, because sometimes, even when life jackets are provided, they give excuses of feeling uncomfortable wearing the life jackets being smelly. So there has to be that constant information sharing and giving, and for the public to understand that it is in all of us our interest to ensure that the basic safety measures are adhered to. So have no doubt the Ghana Maritime Authority would keep the public informed with our findings.
And thank you very much for making time to speak to us this morning.
You're welcome, my brother. Thank you.
Well, Mr. MUBARICK MASAWUDU is Deputy Director General, Ghana Maritime Authority, speaking to us on the accident that happened on the Volta Lake. So boats capsized. We have losses of up to 16 people. Majority of them are children. Majority of the people who lost their lives are children. They set up two separate committees to do two separate things. There's a committee that's looking into the facts. There's a committee that's also looking beyond this immediate incident, so that we'll see how we can improve travel or movement on the Volta Lake, because these things happen one too many times, and there's a need to nip them in the bud. Well, we are back tomorrow with another edition of a Gold Morning Conversation. I had many comments that I wanted to go through, but I have to make way for DJ Kofi to take over and take you to the mid-morning show. I am Senna Nombo, SM, Nancy, Eric, Patrick, and of course, Alaska B. And a big thank you to our technical team. A big thank you to Lechu, and of course the security men. I saw the Gold Morning Conversation team there. There are many people working together to make sure it works successfully. So a big thank you to everyone. Of course, a big thank you to you. Our book of condolence for the late Ochiami Bajimba, Alex Kwesi Ayensu Bang, is still open. So please do pass by and sign the book of condolence. Do feel free to pass by. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.